Welcome to D Rich Effect. This is not part of the anime podcast, but the other podcast. So I am D Rich, as always. Primarily with me is my sister, Mama Roach, and um, I just want to put it out there that on this podcast, uh, our discussions could be anything outside of the anime community. So, say we watch a movie. Like the other night, I watched Moana 2, and I wanted to talk to her about it. And she was like, no, I want to watch it first. And then it's like, stuff like that. We could talk about traveling. We could talk about family stuff. We could talk about general life stuff. And we're going to kind of touch on that today in this discussion um, because I finally got something. Not exactly what she sent me a picture of, but I finally got something that I believe will help me uh, get a little healthier and stuff like that. So we will be discussing stuff like that, and we try to go with the natural route of things. Um, by no means, by no means are either one of us medical healthcare uh, professionals or advisors or anything like that. This is just stuff that we know that are natural remedies that have worked for us in the past or are working for people that we personally know, and we're trying it out so we could get off of all the really shitty medications that we are currently on to get healthier, because I've been on certain medications for so long that it has literally messed my body up worse than what it would have been if I would have just dealt with the pain or any of the other stuff. So, it like we could talk about anything. So that's what this podcast is all about, and hopefully you guys enjoy the partly cloudy sky and blue sky that I have. As you can see, I still have the pool right back there. Um, I will not be doing any pool podcasts unless, and only unless, I have the people that are making the podcast with me at my location, and we're just chilling in the sunbathing area. That is the only way. So, first and foremost, I'm not going to get into details, but we just heard a story, and with what it the story was about, I am really glad that I moved me and my family out of Oregon. And I feel ashamed that I lived there for so long, knowing that it was progressively from the 80s getting to the point where it this article happened. Because the first time we had a bad run in with cops for something very stupid was in the 80s, and my dad got assaulted because he was the only male over the age of 18 on the property, and the cop immediately believed somebody who also just showed up to the property instead of getting the whole story. And so or doing their job. But I don't really want to talk about that. I just want to say, because of situations like that, and I know not every place is peachy when it comes to law enforcement or medical health professionals, or EMTs or anything. It's like every place has their own downside to things. Some places are better than others. Some places aren't as good as others. But my experience so far in the last almost 2 years that I've been in Southeast Texas, I am insanely happy that we left Oregon in pursuit of a better life. So, no, I get it. Baby, do you mind grabbing me a beer? I will let everybody know I do not promote smoking or drinking, but if you are of age, legal age in your state to do either one, do if you're going to do it with the thought that you're not trying to get blackout, you're not trying to endanger anybody. Like it's a beautiful day. I'm about to have a beer. I just finished or about to finish my coffee. Um, but I like having a beer if I'm not going out anymore while it's a beautiful day. And it's a beautiful day. So, even well, during this conversation, I am going to have a little bit of alcohol. It's not going to be a lot. It's not going to make me, you know, drunk. It's not going to, do anything like that. And if you do drink, I believe that you should do it responsibly. Smoking too. Everything that happens in life, everything that yeah, everything in life should be done in moderation. That includes drinking water. And I will get into that one. So, I am a rare case. So, I was serving. This is early 2000s, and I was serving in the military. We were the Red Sea and Iraq. At the time that my incident happened, I was on ship, and it was one of the hottest days that we had. I was on watch, which means I was on patrol on the ship, making sure things were happening the way that they were supposed to be happening. No fires, like people weren't fooling around and everything like that. And when you're on a ship, if for anybody that was in the Navy and they know about these watches, I was hangar bay for my watch. It was a 4 hour watch, and every aviation command rotates for every 4 hours between all the squadrons for flight deck when the flight ops are off and hangar bay pretty much 24/7, specifically when flight ops are off. So it was like 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so 13, 1400, and it was so hot. And this is why I prefer humid and humidity over dry heat. Is even though we were on a ship in the middle of the water, it was so hot and so dry that my sweat was evaporating so fast that I didn't realize I was sweating. So I was continuously drinking water to stay hydrated. And I ended up overhydrating, thinning out my blood, and passing out. And I've had heart issues ever since. So when I say hydrate, it's still in moderation. Doesn't matter if it's, coffee, water, tea. Like, tea is really healthy for you, but still in moderations. Water is really healthy for you, but still in moderations. So, yep, right. But at that time, I thought I was taking care of myself, not realizing. I was get causing adverse effects because in my brain, I was like, I'm not sweating, I'm not hydrated. Even though I was sweating, but it was evaporating and drying so fast that the thought never occurred that that was what was happening. Did that in Oklahoma for your graduation. Mm. 100-degree weather, 110-degree weather with the high hot winds. Yeah, yeah, yep. When I went back to basic, yeah. So, like, my life experiences are very different from a lot of others. And I try to spread some type of knowledge, especially when somebody's like, man, you got to keep drinking water. Just keep drinking water. It's going to help you help be healthy. It's like, yes and no. So, but like today, we were out shopping. I was looking for a specific tea, and the one that was recommended to me was a raspberry hibiscus because it has licorice root in it. And if you've done any research, licorice root helps block a chemical that stops hair from growing. And so we couldn't find the specific one that she put out there, so that she advised me to try. But we did find a couple of others. What was the name of the licorice one that we saw at Kroger? It was licorice something. It wasn't sage. It was something. It's actually one of the ones I like. It's but the next time we go shopping, I'll pick it up. But we got the two different ones. One is for sore throats. I got it because it had 550 milligrams of licorice root in it, and um, I'm a big tea drinker. So is my wife, and pretty much everybody in my family. And we also got this one that you're supposed to do right before bedtime, which has 419 milligrams of licorice root. So uh, I'll be making a cup of that pretty much daily for the next, you know, yeah, until it's gone to see how it is. I have started doing biotine. I've never really done biotine, but just doing the biotine has already, for my Jewish cap, started growing. Started uh, little hairs are is coming back. So, um, but like what? It's kind of reversing some of my gray. One thing I used to love beard products. Beard products. For like shampoos and stuff like that. If I could afford it, I would still do it. But for anybody that's on a budget, my recommendation is coconut oil and vitamin E oil, and just use it as a little massaging. It's not a shampoo. It's not a conditioner. It just keeps it's not really a moisturizer too. It's for the hair. It's a more of a moisturizer for the skin. So you want to get it like really in, and it helps keep the hair soft, and it helps keep from the dry. Right, but for like anybody that's does like the coconut oil for sunburns or vitamin E oil for sunburns, just put a little bit, just a little bit in the beard, and it does practically the same thing. It just doesn't have all the scents and the cleaning factors or any of that other stuff. So, but when it comes to beard products, though, my favorite so far that I've dealt with is the beard struggle. Like I like a lot of their Viking themed scents, and like I have their heated brush that helps keep the hairs straight or straighter. But when I really into beard grooming, I have what, 5 combs, 4 or 5 different combs for just my beard. Not the top of my head, just for my beard. Does he have a question? Mm. And stuff like this can happen in our streams too, because we do live life, and even though we try to set down, we do have kids, and like when I stream on Twitch, half of my streams get chaotic because we do have kids, we have pets, we have a lot of stuff that's constantly happening. And I do plan that if I don't do it as a stream on Twitch or TikTok, or if we get it to the point where I could stream it to here on YouTube, if we get enough subscribers, I will start doing videos of us doing cookouts again. But I mean, like, I want when it comes to the streaming side of things, when it comes to the games and everything like that, I'm not just for video games. I like card games. We could do tabletop communication, like um, cornhole. Is another good one. I like playing cornhole. We have billiards that we can do. And it's like I have streams of me and the wife or me and the kids playing pool in the garage. Um, if I had people that were as into working out and helping keeping me motivated, there'd probably be workout streams. Well, I already talked to Jared, and I'm gonna just refer to him as Jay. Um, our brother, it's me, Jay, and then Megs, and he's starting an adventure right now, being an entrepreneur. And I already talked to him earlier today, and sometime soon we are going to make an episode where we can talk about his experiences and his goals and everything that life has thrown at him that make him want to be on this uh, adventure or journey. Um, and I don't want to really get into it until he's here. So we already have it set up that one of these days it is going to be the three of us, and we're going to be talking. So it does have to do with working out, and um, I'm super excited for him, and I hope him all the success, all the success. Because if it gets to the point where it's as successful as he's hoping, and say he moves to my area, he can keep the location that he's starting and then start another one here. Yeah, not necessarily. No, not necessarily, because he say he makes it, one of those things, kind of like how Dutch Bros started. It started in one location, and it was right, and then it went from one location to 2 to 3, and then it was 7, and then but as a coffee drinker, I love Dutch Bros. It sucks that the closest Dutch Bros to me is in Vegas. Yeah, you're right. There was a Dutch Bros in Sierra Vista. I did not know that. the last I knew, the closest Dutch Bros to us is Vegas.
Yeah, square with the triangle on top. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, chicken. I'm still just gonna show off square with the chicken. Did you just call me a chicken?
Yes.
Okay.
Can I see your peeper? I want to show it.
No. What? That part.
Can I show Auntie, please?
Why?
Because she likes looking at your art. Okay. So the wasps are out today. Well, no, these are more like the mud hoppers. They're the brown or black ones. They're not normal wasps. Yeah. So, they have another name for them down here, but I remember them as mud hoppers. Like they're the ones that have like the mud burrows. Huh? Yeah, they're also cicada killers. So that sucks. So what's that mean for him? That sucks. Mm. Just so you know, just so you know, you might want to look it up just to double check me. But I was reading somewhere that the less melanin that you have in your skin, if you wear sunglasses, that is one thing that will cause you to burn because your eyes are a receptor for vitamin D and sunlight that it will self. So I understand the squinting and everything, but with your eyes not being blocked from the sun, it will help you tan and not burn as much if you don't have sunglasses on. I've read like 3 studies that are all stating the same thing, pretty much. Yeah, yeah. No, no, I was just letting you know. Like I said, do the research. That's one of the reasons why I brought it up. It's like do the research. It's like if you find different research supporting it differently, because me, I love sunglasses. I could wear sunglasses day and night, in the house, out of the house. Like I prefer sunglasses, huh? Burn more often than I do. But I also hold a tan a lot better than most people. But I typically only burn once a year though. Yeah, right. So, um, I know Ricky wants a new tattoo. I wish you guys could come out here and get tattooed by Spirit House. I would love to see you guys get out here and get tattooed by some of the greatest people that I've ever met in the tattoo industry. I love Sod at Pussycat House, Pussycat Tattoos in Milwaukee. I absolutely love Sod. I think he's a great owner of the shop, and Mike and all the other guys that work there are really cool. But um, I really resonate with Spirit House, especially since it's veteran owned, and like they're the vibe of the shop itself is like really cool. And um, so my recommendation, if anybody's coming to Beaumont, Texas, I'm not gonna give my exact location. But if you're ever in Beaumont, Texas, or Southeast Texas, in the Beaumont Golden Triangle area, which is Orange, Port Arthur, Beaumont, Um, check out Spirit House Tattoos. Uh, my artist that I absolutely love going to is Eddie Lease. I believe that's how you say his last name. Um, but like all the artists are really good. So, and I would love to see you guys come out here and get tattooed by him. But I know that he wants to do the matching tattoo with your guys' daughter, and that's cool. And it's like I absolutely support that. It's just like what a couple weeks ago we were talking, and I asked if you ever thought about you and I getting matching tattoos.
I know my sister still wants to get one. We just haven't come to an agreement on what we're gonna get. It's a totally different feeling.
Okay, picture it like this. Imagine you grabbing a vibrator, putting it on its highest setting, and then somebody's just poking you, like with an yeah, like we were explaining to Lady Ivy. Um,
Not as intense at all, but
it's like having pins and needles, but somebody putting a vibrator right on where you're having pins and needles. It's actually
not as
it's painful, but it's not as painful as you think.
like a foot or a hand falling asleep and getting that pins and needles feeling. It's more intense than getting attacked.
Okay, so hold on. Have you ever cut yourself? Okay, getting a tattoo is a lot easier than cutting yourself. And a cut, paper cut, or with a knife while cooking or peeling potatoes or whatever, is. But that's what I'm getting at. It's like they all hurt, but but to say real quick, like I the other day I was peeling potatoes and I accidentally stabbed myself. Yeah, I was cutting potatoes. I wasn't peeling them. I was cutting potatoes to make mashed potatoes. And I turned and I had the in my hand and not thinking, I went like this and stabbed myself right at the knuckle with the tip. And it's like it was just really quick. It didn't bleed, but you could see it and it looked like a paper cut. And it's like that.
In my experience, the vibrations part of the tattooing is what helps numb everything.
Right. So, my recommendation for anybody about to get a tattoo, if they've never gotten a tattoo, like for mom, is have an edible. Something that's going to make you
Relax.
relax and, uh, yeah, you don't want to spend that money. So, okay, look at it this way. No, okay, look at it this way. Look at it this way. Say you get four artists, right, to do a huge piece for you, but you want to be knocked out. So the anesthetic alone is going to run you 50 to 100,000. Okay, and for the art piece, most of those art pieces aren't even worth 10 grand just for the art, just for the big piece. So you still have to wake up. You still have to deal with the pain afterwards. Yeah. So it's just better to take an edible, relax, or my recommendation, because you are going to swell no matter what, just some Tylenol, some anti-inflammatory, and do it about an hour before you go into the shop. It's that simple. Hydrate, water. And if the artist is good enough, there you typically don't want an artist that will go farther than 5 layers of skin. To have the ink stay, you need to at least get to the third layer. If they are good and have a steady hand and aren't going too deep, they'll stick at the third, fourth layer. And if they're really good, they could go quick and keep their quality of art up instead of so like my last tattoo that I had by Sod at Pussycat was my master sword. Was my master sword, my one up, the logo for Darksiders, the Gears of War cog. Yes. All right. So for those pieces, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. All right. He quoted me $800 because he was figuring it was going to take an hour for the sword, 20, 30 minutes for the lining and the shading of the mushroom, all the black of everything for the rest. And he was like, okay, you're going to be here for like 5 hours. So it's like 120 to 150 per hour back when I had it done. And I was like, okay, so you there? So I pulled out the money and a little extra for the tip because he had said 800. And I was like, okay, that's, we could deal with that. I had it in my budget. He got done in under 3 hours and he only charged me 300 for all of it. So I gave him a $200 tip. Still saved me money, but I went in with a grand because I was expecting 800 plus, a couple hundred for his time. But when he dropped the price from 800 to 300, I still gave him that $200 tip, and they all held their color. It's like they're all like really good. They're like several years old. He did the same thing with my tribal from elbow to elbow across my back.
I can't do my one save file. Right.
Okay. You said you were starting over anyway for streaming.
I'm not streaming though.
Oh.
I had to permanently restart all over, but I can't do the DLC. I wanted the DLC. I had to be downstairs. Downstairs, get myself out of the area.
At the moment.
Yeah. I don't want it though.
Oh, speaking of Twitch, here in the next month or so, it doesn't matter how big your community is. They're automatically, if it's your first stream or not your first stream, you can start making money.
You don't have to have the
No more affiliates.
50 followers and
Yeah, no more affiliate. No more affiliates.
So
Huh?
if you think about it, it's nice.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are upset with it because, like, for me, like, I had to get coached on how to make affiliate because I was going about it all wrong at the beginning, and we helped you.
doing it backwards.
Right, pretty much. So, next time you log in, I'll look at your account, and if it's already set up for monetization, you can, stream as long as you want.
I don't know if I'm the modern.
I don't know. I don't remember.
YouTube
Yep.
and Lego.
But yeah, Twitch actually lost a lot of money over the last year, and that's one reason why they're doing it because a lot of people aren't following the smaller content creators to get them to affiliate status.
Jobs and so forth. Naomi's gonna start a job after her birthday. Sounds good.
Like she wants to work part time.
Me and her were talking about yes, sometimes. And it's like as long as you make sure you keep your grades as a passing,
Yeah.
get yourself a part-time job so that we can get that interaction with other.
Right. So just so you guys know, that is my wife talking to me. So I'm not ignoring the podcast or anything. But that's smart. Good for her.
Money, but it gets her out there so that she can interact.
Yeah.
That's part of what her problem is, right? Her depression she's going through.
Not my fault she's not trying to get her friends over or trying to hang out with her friends.
It's you know how everybody grows up,
Yeah.
starts going their own kind of different ways.
Yeah.
So other people that you used to be a part of kind of drop out a little bit.
Yeah.
Just wind up being more of an acquaintance.
Right. You think that's what's happening with her and Lily?
Right. You don't have to do it across the bar since you have it stapled there.
Huh?
You don't have to go around the bar since you have it stapled.
Okay. Still dating. It was already connected when you were saying something.
Why is Lily?
Because, huh? That's what I said with Lily.
They're having a little bit of kind of like a falling out, but not at the same time because Lily's she's floating away, going in kind of her own
Direction, yeah. But showing maturity is being able to hold that friendship even though you're kind of separating. Because Eddie,
she was talking also about Claire and Bella.
Yeah.
I told her just out of the blue every now and then send like a little emoji or a hi.
right,
Keep contact. It doesn't have to be an actual phone. Just keep contact.
right. What do you think I do with Graham
Oh, I know.
or Lego?
But that's what I was telling her. Is, things like that. It's like they may not be full blown friends anymore, but keeping them in, just keeping. I mean, it's what's needed.
Yeah,
Because, just saying hi out of the blue might wind up being an actual conversation for a day, and then you might not hear anything for like another month. And that's when either they'll reach out or you reach out.
mm-hmm. No, that's very true. Any relationship's a lot of work.
Friendship actually seems to be somewhat harder than an actual, like, I'll say in quote, lovers relationship.
So you're saying this means Sophie has more of that than actual friendship?
Because I know Eddie, he loves us. And it's like he wishes that they would still hang out.
Lily still keeps calling my mom.
Right.
But it's just those two in general are having a little bit of an issue.
Yeah.
And that's what I was trying to explain to her. But I told her, if you.
I mean, look at me and Keenan.
Yeah.
It's like me, but me
and
but me and Keenan was really weird because it's like we connected before high school. Our parents didn't meet until near the end of our freshman year. So we were already friends for almost 2 years before any parents met each other. And then come to find out that our dad and his mom went to high school together and were actually really good friends in high school and had a falling out after graduation. Right. And then we were best friends, and practically brothers, practically family. And I personally lost a lot of blood family because of Keenan because I defended him, because he is family to me, still is, even though we don't communicate. And you know, everything was going great until I decided that I was going into the military, and then I got orders to Japan, and immediately after that, it was like excommunication. And then I get back, and it's his little brother that's like, I can't believe he threw away this friendship, man. You're awesome. It's like, like his little brother picked up where, yeah. It's like I love Austin. I love Keenan. You know, they're both uh, they're both family to me. They're brothers from another mother, and I feel so sorry for those two right now. And I am gonna get a little sappy right now, but last week, was it last week? Might have been 2 weeks ago. We found out that their mom has stage 4 cancer, and she's going through chemotherapy right now. And I wish her all the luck, and I hope that she does make a really, not a speedy recovery, but a really healthy recovery, because I know chemotherapy can wreak complete havoc on. That's chemotherapy. That's what chemotherapy is. It's radiation therapy, but it's still chemotherapy. It's radiation. It's either pill form, or they go into like a room and they do like the shock therapy, like with the lights and everything. Um, but I hope that she has a very healthy recovery, because I would love to see her last longer than my dad did. And she already has, but I would love to see her be able to not just hang out with her or meet her grandkids, but actually get to hang out with them, because now that they are of age where they're not infants and everything like that, that they can be, out exploring, and that they already have their own personalities and everything, which is something that you and I should talk about on another episode for this podcast. Is how wrong parenting books are.
They have some good key points.
Yes, they have some good key points. And I'm not going to get into it this one, but you're right. That is a whole episode itself. So, but that's something that we are going to have to talk about, because it needs to be put out there. And a lot of people try to put it out there. And I don't care either. I don't care. I have 3 examples of what my biggest example would be on why those books will never work. But I will say this in this episode is like, if you are coming across this and you hit this section of this video, if you are expecting a child in the near future, or are trying to have a child in the near future, they cost a lot of money. And hold on. And even from the womb, they have their own personalities. I will get more into that when we actually have that conversation on a different podcast episode. But those are my 2 biggest takeaways. A third, as an honorable mention, never listen to anyone's advice. Yes, I just gave 2 pieces of advice. And the honorable mention is to never take anyone's advice.
Take it, but don't take it to heart.
And that's going to bring us into the next topic. Giving advice to our kids.
For the next one or one of the rounds.
Oh no, we're gonna continue this conversation on another episode, but we're gonna start it right now. Oh, okay. So this is a good cutting off point then. Okay.
Start then.
And we do need to start dinner. So is there anything you want to add before we cut off for this episode?
A lot of reasons for anything in general.
Well, that's why most of them are practitioners because they're practicing. They're not actual. Um. So, well, I hope you have fun going to get my niece. Tell her we love her, and
Nose hair, ear hair,
Eyelash.
I do have questions about her, but we'll get into that later.
big hairs. All the armpit hair one.
So, huh? All right. So,
Same thing.
hey, I am recording.
We're talking about purposes of certain body hair.
Oh, okay. Like butt cheek hair. Yeah,
No,
that makes
armpit
sense.
Armpit
He
hair.
just said butt cheek.
Yeah.
All body
That was
hair.
something else.
What are
Okay.
we talking about?
All right. So, so have a good one.